Good morning, beautiful people. Good morning. Good morning. And I will never get nobody name up. They was like, is that a wig? What was that? I said, I don't know. I don't do hair. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna say the other women that was in there. Some that at the the Merriman, they was laughing at the gym with me this morning and said, we know you gonna put them hairstyle. I said, I am. So I know because we got 130. I said I am. I'm gonna put it up there. Now one downvote is Liddell or Kansas. I'm not messing with you.
Rocket, cold.
But look who they said that was Crockett. We got Stephen A. Smith attacking her now. Jasper Crockett.
He's been attacking our whole national, so it ain't nothing new with him. He's a fashion racist. He all that. He let you know who he is. He ain't holding him up.
But he black.
Stephen Miller ain't
No, Stephen A. Smith.
Oh man.
I'm talking about Stephen A. Smith. You ain't see how they said to my y'all wrong. Y'all wrong. I mean, listen, hey, some laugh with you, some laugh at you. They laughed at me plenty of times. I'm laughing too, shit. But, hey, it is what it is. But boy, we was rolling. They was like, you gonna put them pictures up? I said, I am. She the one brought up content. She said, are they trying to use stuff for content? I said, well, she gave it to me. But this what I had wanted to say. I was watching one guy. I was looking for his video, and he was talking about like in Chicago when they raided the hotel. And I get both sides, not the hotel, the apartment complex. But and as he was breaking it down, and it was like what they doing is what they not telling people is, and it's bad on both sides. But these was the ones that the Democrats had, and when they took them to Martha's Vineyard and everything.
Yeah.
What's up?
I can't. I just can't fathom that, right? Like, I'm still stuck on, you touch my kids, I'm touching you. It's that serious. And the fact that he's just letting this man skate by, but a dude who does something peaceful, that rallies the community to do something peaceful, right? How often do we see people today get groups of people together, rile them up, and go set them loose? Jed gathered a group of people, got them focused, and did something productive, and he's the fucking monster? This is some bull.
How y'all doing, beautiful people?
We is live.
I know. I'm a little down. I'm a little hurt this morning.
Tell the people about good brother Otis.
I don't know. I'm just not happy today, that's all.
I mean, you can say it out loud. This is a sharing space.
No, I'm just not happy.
All right, cool. Well, while you work on your spirits, because the people looking for you to say good morning to them on this Good Friday, the day after whatever day you called yesterday, we're so happy to see you this morning. I am Yogi G from the 202 to the 810. And if you didn't know, we got a few rules of engagement before we start this roll call off. One, make sure you hit that like button, and whichever chat you're in, because Brother Otis been tinkering with the background, so we don't know where you at, but we can see you this morning to say good morning. Also, make sure that you remember and tell a friend it's $5 Friday, because getting y'all these opinions and all the news from across the globe ain't free. And here I use the word AINT because I got a DCPS education, so ain't is in my vernacular. So please make sure you send that $5 to celebrate this $5 Friday. All right, now back to your side of the globe.
It is back to my side of the globe. Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing this morning? I see Common Sense to tapped in. He said, "What's up to you, Yogi G? We got the Gaddis clan in the building. Diva and Pop Diva. I'm tripping. I am really tripping this morning. Raphael Bird, what it do? Diva Cam 13. Good morning. And H Sprag in the building. Mama Quill. Oh my goodness." I knew that hater was gonna tap in. What's up, Deborah O'Neill? How you doing this morning? Thank you for tapping in. Hit that like button.
Smash that like button.
Yeah, smash it. Smash it. I'm trying to tell you, you know, how you see how one person, they so happy that the Cowboys won, he don't know what to do.
You
Then
know,
we got the Creek
in the
Jungle
corner life,
coming in.
I would join in on that.
Miss D, good morning. I'm so disappointed.
Mm.
It's cool.
Trevor had something to say.
I don't pay no attention to clowns this early.
Well,
It's
you
too
know,
early to be on clown mood. That's all I'm saying. It's too early for it. I ain't got time for it today.
there might be a coaching opportunity that's coming up that you might
It's,
want to
it,
check out.
I probably do need it. What's up, Lavender? That taps in. I do need that coaching job. I need it.
Or there's some people that say you can just cut it all out all together and not watch it at all.
I'm done. I already gave up. I'm just watching college.
Well, until next season.
I'm on my college right now. I'm just watching my college.
Where the people came in to
I'm
support
trying to
you this morning, it's a support circle for your circle of friends of Detroit Lions. I'm reading them.
it ain't nothing. Miss Karaja Smith, good morning. Carolyn Hendricks, good morning. It ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? You can't win them all. You know, we was playing with another idiot. They keep letting them damn coaches like Dan Campbell to get jobs is unbelievable. I don't know. You know, Goff, the biggest bum that I've been hollering was a bum. You know, he keep getting a head coaching job. I don't know how this stuff be going on. What's up, Pop Gaddis? I don't know how. I don't even know how we going through this. I swear on everything I love, I don't know how we going through it. I'm about ready to take that cat through it straight out the motherfucking house. I'm telling you, I'm telling you.
See, I don't get buried with that. I don't know too much about it.
It's about to get slung right up out of here. I'm dead serious. I'm about to take it. I'm so frustrated. No, I'm done watching the Lions for this year.
I don't believe it. I think we still got hope. We got that same sickness floating around here in DC. I heard, the Commanders or the Commanders, I think that's what they call it. We deal with a lot of delulu around here too, so it's okay. I'm used to dealing with people that had the same illness as you have, delulu. It's gonna be all right.
We're gonna be good. I just ain't want to go. And I ain't want to go this morning to the gym trying to tell all the Lion fans that I've been telling them that the head coach was an idiot, that the GM was on drugs. They didn't want to believe me. They wanted to sit up here. Now when I went in, like I gotta go back today. I know we finna be like, I told y'all so. Don't none of them wanna believe it. What's up, Constance? Thank you for tapping in. How you doing?
Good morning.
I'm just like it was a what's up, B Marie? It was just he's an idiot. You know, we got some of the most idiot coaching and general managers that I ever seen in my life come through the Lions organization. Big Mama Gaddis, good morning. It's just terrible. I mean, I don't know. They're gonna keep them around. Detroit do what they usually do. They're gonna find them 1-star player and gonna ride that joker to the ground. They've been doing this from Billy Sims to Barry Sanders to Megatron to Jameer Gibbs. They just go and then they find such oh my God. That's all.
Just put a heart in the chat for brother Mick. He's struggling today. He wanted to give y'all the news, but like his heart is heavy right now. See,
I'm done with them. I was already, to be honest with y'all, they can tell y'all at the gym. I was already out on the Lions because when they gave Jared Goff that $200 million, I didn't panic. You should have saw me when he got that $200 million contract guaranteed. I then fell out. I could have fainted. Then they gave old Aiden Hutchinson $180 million guaranteed. I didn't want to pass out on that one. I'm just like, Lord have mercy. Coaching malpractice, but it is what it is. Detroit, like America, is gonna keep on ticking no matter how bad it gets.
Oh. Trevor seems to think you need some support.
He would think that because he's been a Dallas fan for so long. He's still holding on to the 90s. He think the 90s was the best goddamn era of America.
Like I
He
said,
think
in the past life, I might have agreed with that. Because, the star shines bright, deep down in places where the winners reside once upon a time.
Meat Free, what it do? Allie Nicole Gaddis Rivers. Nah, I'm just saying. Hey, Concrete. It was never. It was never. Coretta H. How you doing? It was never Stafford. It was. They never had the right coaches. I'm gonna tell you right now. They thought the brother ran it bad. I think Sheila Ford finna run this thing into the Sheila Hamp. I'm with the Sheila Ford Hamp. I think the sister finna run it into the ground even more. So. She finna run into this organization. We in rebuild mode. They just don't want to admit it. Yeah, Trevor really, you stay off them Red Bulls. If you probably wasn't on them Red Bulls, wouldn't have no problem. Leave them Red Bulls alone. Them Red Bulls done affected your senses right now. I'm just disappointed in the organization as a whole. Why would they get Jared Goff 200-something million? He's a bum. He's a bum. The quarterback whisperer guy, and I thought we won in that trade, yo. I ain't gonna lie. I thought when we traded Stafford, we got them first 2 picks. Then when I seen continuously every year they go get this man offensive weapons. Neglect the defense. They feel, we got Aiden Hutchinson, that's enough. Linebackers, bum. Cornerbacks, that Terrion Arnold from the Alabama's a bum. You know what I'm saying? They need to fire everybody, man, from so many injuries, just a bum. I'm just telling
you. You need to go up there and tell them, just send them your resume. Tell them you ready to take it over and you got the plan for the win.
Nah, because I might come in like Eric Mays did one time. I remember Eric Mays came to one campaign headquarters and told the people to fire the lead campaign. Why he ain't fired? That's how I'll be like Mays. Be like, why y'all ain't got rid of the Fords? They holding us back. It's some more billionaires in Michigan. Why y'all ain't got rid of the Fords? That's what I would have came in and did. You know what I'm saying? I would have demanded we got rid of ownership. You know what I'm saying? Then we'd have started reworking. I'm sick of just playoffs I'm done. They didn't blow me. This is it. I see they finna destroy Jamar Gibbs. His career finna go down. Trade that brother and let him get a ring. To be honest, trade them good players and let them go get a ring, man. I've been watching. I'm telling you.
You've been nothing kind of these people. You've been buying their merch. You've been supporting them. You've been letting people know when their schedule are, and this is how you get repaid.
Nah, it is what it is. Trade them. I'm like going rebuild mode because everybody hollering about Shedeur Sanders. Don't get me wrong. He got done wrong. But people they forgot about Hendon Hooker. Don't nobody remember Hendon Hooker. Listen, Detroit did that brother a disservice. Never played him, didn't try to develop him. They put all their time into a quarterback that wasn't shit. Now I want to put on my tinfoil Koofy hat because it ain't that serious. But the way they did Hendon Hooker is down right now. We have a troll in the chat. We have a real troll in the chat. You know what I'm saying? We have a real troll.
24. You can't get that troll 24. You just have to deal with it.
You don't know me. You don't know me. His ass to get a 24 with the quickness. You don't know me. See, you're a troll.
I just like to tell said troll, I don't have control of the controls. So if you get 24, you know where to go.
I'm telling you, the Lions is just they gotta find some people that don't know how to they getting people in who just know how to spend the force money, which is diabolical. Usually I wouldn't give a hoot who would be blowing the money, but right now it's terrible. But guess what, Yogi?
What's up?
Guess what I'll be able to do today?
What you'll be able to do?
That's what's up, Mr. Stepper. He said he just hit his 73K of subscribers. I'm working on it.
because I know Otis ain't in the studio today, you know. So I give y'all a little.
That's what's up, Mr. Stepper 88. No, hey Mark, I've been saying that it was time to get rid of him, man. He keep getting out coached year after year after year. Then now he can't blame nobody now, Mark Hutchinson. He can't blame nobody. He calling all the offensive players. He can't blame nobody. I know the offensive coordinator up there smiling and being, but we're gonna whoop Chicago though. I promise y'all that. That's about the only victory we're gonna get. I think we're gonna end up 8-9, miss the playoffs next year again. Mr. Go for it and don't kick a field goal. Well, Dan Campbell, that coffee got to be spiked. There got to be some spiked coffee. That coffee, all that Starbucks, that $16 a cup of coffee, I'll fire his ass. He would never buy another cup of coffee on my watch. See, even Concrete Jungle thinking we not gonna whoop Chicago. To be honest with you, I see about we got 5 losses. I see about 4 more losses. I think we're gonna go like 8-9. Terrible though. Well, enough for me.
You'll be there for everyone. You gotta stay. You gotta stick to it. You just can't abandon the ship right now. You gotta go ahead and hold the line.
Nah, I'm gone. I'm back on my college. You know. I gotta worry about Saturday game, man. I don't even care about that was yesterday. Detroit 1-8 on Thanksgiving. That's all I can tell you. Andre Holland, what it do? Yeah, oh my goodness. I'm worrying about the Michigan versus Ohio State. We gotta get that together. Detroit gonna do what they do. They got a coach that's on drugs, a GM that's getting high. They just sitting back laughing like, man, how much money we gonna blow at this? Here we go. They good for the regular season. We're gonna see what the playoffs gonna look like for Dallas. They not even topping their division. But what you got going on in these DC streets, Yogi? I see y'all made the news.
I think I'm gonna start sleeping with my eyes open because every time I close them, something more happens. I don't know what to say other than I'm stuck in the apocalyptic center. If you don't know, I don't see how you can't. We got 500 more troops that's lined up to come to the DC area because we had someone who I don't even know how to describe it, man. It's unfortunate because on one hand, we just got the news here that illegally that the National Guard was supposed to be leaving in December, which we're like a couple of days shy away from that happening. And then, unfortunately, we just had 2 of our National Guard to be unalived by a, I don't even know how to describe him, but he's not a DC resident, so let me say that. But we're suffering from us being in DC. And so this means that we have earned ourselves more people to occupy our space and more troubles down the way. And then also, as B. Marie has lovely segued us into, our mayor, their mayor, not my mayor, Bow Bow, is leaving. And I said, we are definitely in trouble. Because she gave us a nice little outro. Gave us a whole little play. I'm gonna have to bring it back for y'all when we come back either Sunday on the Chitlin Circuit or back on Friday. I'm gonna have to play it for y'all. She gave us a nice little video montage of sayonara. Y'all gonna have to deal with the aftermath of what's coming down the pipeline. But little did we know it was gonna be something such as this. Yeah, literally after she had announced that she wasn't going to be running, because I told y'all, 2026 is big for us here in these little streets of the District of Columbia, because we don't have no rule or control over our government. We got the illusion of control. So we got 13 mafia bosses that are working under the one big mafia boss, King Bow Bow. And so King Bow Bow says she's not coming back, and she's been in office since 2015, I believe.
She not coming back?
She's not coming back. She said she's not running for re-election again. She said, y'all sick of me? You're tired of my shit. I forgot Family Show. You're tired of my shenanigans. Look at me go. She said, you're tired of my shenanigans and you'll really love what's coming behind you. And then I promise you, after that, then we got on the news that we had lost 2 National Guard members. And so now we like,
Oh my goodness.
You know, sometimes you need a supervillain to fight supervillains. I'm starting to see
Oh,
that now.
I'm just sharing it out. Are you serious?
Hey man, you know, if I'm lying, I'm flying, and I'm a big gal. I ain't gone nowhere yet. I'm still in this seat,
Oh my goodness. That's terrible. So
ain't
she
it?
just letting it go. She just saying she out. she just
You
she
said
just leave
peace.
you out with the aftermath like y'all can handle it.
You know, it's really sad. They say, I don't know what they say in your black household, but in my black household, they say, be careful what you ask for. And boy, oh boy, if I ain't feeling that more than now, because I don't know, scared is the right word. Because it's been some things happening since August 4th that it really could have elevated me to scared. But whatever word is higher than scared, um, huh? Oh, terrified. That was my son on the sideline. He gave me a new word,
That's what
terrified.
job good morning to you. Hey, listen, but they don't think. I mean, but it's strange when they wanted the guys gone. Somebody just came out of. I mean, what would make a person go shoot some that? I mean, they don't think that was going to put more pressure.
So now you're asking me to strap on my tinfoil hat, which I
Yes,
happen to keep
I
with me really, really closely. So my tinfoil hat says that being as though that we are the um, nation's capital, and that we are literally next to the beacon of evil, the Thunderdome, the capital, that there are
am.
some things that we're just going to have to expect may transpire over the course of December because I don't think they're trying to help us get to 2026.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're trying to bring in a new year with a whole new bang. You know what I mean? But once again, that's just the straps of my tinfoil hat that are coming together. The more and more that I'm experiencing being stuck under the Thunderdome of the apocalyptic center called DC. Mm-hmm.
I was just looking at what Concrete Jungle. I just put it up. Said dude was a former CIA Afghan operative, allegedly.
Yeah, I'm glad
Lord,
you said that because I don't like to utter those words because I still got to walk out here in these federale streets. So, you know, what the chat said is what the streets are saying. But Yogi G ain't said. But that's what they
okay.
said out here. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's what they were saying.
That's what they said.
No, yeah. That's why I put that out there. You know, that's what I'm saying. What's out there allegedly.
Mm-hmm.
So what
Allegedly.
so to me, it was like, is that a way to keep the National Guard saying they're gonna need this in, to keep this in DC? I'm trying to see like what's the after effects of this.
The after effects is that we got 500 more troops coming up here to monitor the streets, which is crazy because, like, we haven't had outside of the news when you saw the National Guard were chasing our youth down on what we call our Navy Yard area during the Halloween time. And you can see a nice video footage of like army fatigues and children running around. It was crazy to see. Outside of that, hadn't had any National Guard sponsored incidents here. But the fact is now we're going to get an additional 500 that are just going to be walking around with guns, standing on corners awkwardly, and then turning out, because everybody wants to come to DC to protest. So we got that happening too, where they're being harassed through music. It's a song that I didn't even know existed out here called Arrest Me Daddy, which I was
Mm,
just introduced into yesterday.
wow,
So apparently the protesters use this particular song, and when they find National Guards or when they find police officers, they start to hit this nice little jam and jingle to let them know that they're displeased with their presence here in the District of Columbia.
that's disrespectful.
The Concrete Jungle say they said it on the news this morning. Now 47 said he's not giving visas out to the his words third world countries. Shaking
Wow.
my head.
Good morning,
Well,
Deborah Luna.
I recall recently that we hosted. I don't know if it was the Prince of Saudi Arabia. The chat, can you straighten it out? I'm working on my credentials for becoming a journalist. But if you happen to know the news straight up, then share in the chat. But I believe we had some visitation from representation from Saudi Arabia, and if I heard that words correctly from your president, not mine. He said that they could bring their peoples over because they want them to start bringing business from Saudi Arabia over to America, and then they could bring their own people to come and do the work because we might be a little remedial here in America. Mm-hmm.
And as you come in there and hit that like button, family, I'm like, listen and subscribe if you ain't already subscribed. Okay, Deborah Luna with the $5 Friday. Thank you, Deborah Luna.
Knows $5.
Thank you, lovely Deborah Luna. But that's what it's so. This stuff is so crazy. What's going on? That Lorna, good morning. Thank you for tapping in. It's just to me, and I don't think people be understanding when we be saying. I mean, as you letting them know when you saying like y'all communities is being oppressed. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to act like, you know what I'm saying? It's all right when it's them. And I go back to when we had the shutdown. I remember here, you had so many people that it was probably around the world when they was doing the shutdown. And you had more white people that was mad, like, no, we're not finna be locked in the house. And that's how I feel like how they over police you know what I'm saying, our community. They're not over policing every community like that. To me, it's just like, it's all right what we do to these other communities, but if it be did to them, it's a problem.
Yeah, see, that's the disturbing part, right? This is why we had this contingency against the people in power. You know, when we talk about people being the residents of DC and power being our mayor, their mayor, Bow Bow, right? Like, for aesthetically, we want to support our mayor, right? Understanding that there are some restrictions when it comes to how you can show up. You can't expect for Bowser to show up the way that the mayor in Chicago is showing up because he has support, top level support, whereas we don't have a governor. We barely got a senator, so, we got to tread light here in these streets. I get that. But what we're upset about here as being residents is the fact that everybody's focusing on the amount of numbers of the National Guard that's happening, but less people are talking about the fact that we are being terrorized, as you said, in our communities, which heavily Black communities are Ward 7 and 8 here in DC. If you know, you know. We're being terrorized by our own police officers. We still have ICE that's running rampant around in our streets. Nobody's talking about that. And we've so far lost 3 people to federal unalivings, meaning there was a federal officer that was along with our Metro Police Department, and they have unalived 3 of our residents now. But that's not being talked about on national news. So that's why people are upset with the miscommunication or the disconnect of communication that's happening between what they're saying that is happening in our community versus what we're experiencing in real time. So, are we happy to see our mayor go? Yeah. But as I said, that word terrified, it's like what's coming behind it. Because now we have all this open space between our council. We have all this open space now in one of our largest seats of power, our mayor. And then people are coming for our Senate. So the word on the curb, maybe from the trash can, but you might want to hold it tight, depending on how big your tinfoil hat is that DC is due for another takeover. Meaning that we as citizens, as residents of the District of Columbia, will not have any kind of say in what we got going on, which is not hard to believe because we've been there before. DC was ran over a control board, which was made up of different congressmen or senators who we basically had to come to with a list to say, hey, listen, we had a few ideas about how we like to survive out here in these streets. And if you just give us the money we need, then maybe we could be great. And they'd be up there like, nah, I don't want to deal with it today. Y'all can find another way to feed your people. So that didn't really work out for us in the first way. So we kind of scared to go back to that.
I'm finna look. Let me see what Trevor said. He said, what did this from Trevor Bear here? What did those Congress folks think would happen with that don't follow illegal orders video? There have been no illegal orders, but they riled up all the crazies.
I don't know. My tinfoil hat only go but so far. And I do think that media plays a big part and messaging plays a big part on who you bring out the woodworks. All we can do is just follow the trail that they're giving us to see if we come somewhere close to the truth. Because we'll never really know how or what sparked this. I've seen things in the media that talked about how the Google search for the suspect went up months before or weeks before this incident even happened. And they're trying
Right.
to connect the dots as to why he became a topic of discussion in Google search prior to this happening. And then if you're a history fan like myself, you know that our USA streets are not above a good scandal to push forth some things that they want done. So when you have a legal entity, our court system saying that you are illegally inhabiting the nation's capital, and then you have an order that says that you should be out by December, and on November 26th, 7th, something like that, we
Mhm.
experienced this tragic loss. You all of a sudden had this big crisis because who doesn't feel empathetic to a 20-year-old National Guard woman who was unalive?
Yeah.
Like
I'm just looking
everybody
at
gonna feel some type of way about that.
wow. I'm just looking at what Alan said, family. Everything is a 5 to 10 year pre-planned event. What we see manifesting were pre-planned by the system. That's for your 10 foil.
Hey, just add a stem because I'll nod and agree on that for sure.
Right.
Let's see. Raphael Bird said, nevertheless, something was bound to happen. Said this was coming. Didn't know who, but the atmosphere was there for something like this to happen. Sorry for the life that
Life.
was lost. I mean, for sure. Listen, people call it conspiracy. Some people call it facts if you had the receipts. But we know that in order for things to continue, in order for certain agendas to keep pressing and resonate in the spaces that are undecided, you got to make things happen. And what better way to keep the pressure on maintaining presence in the nation's capital than giving people things to rally around? These are wild times.
But see they allowed this rhetoric to go down. And I'm gonna say it, and I don't care who wanna hear it or not. They allowed President Trump when he was running a lot of the rhetoric that he was saying. See, every time people don't want to be honest on what it is, and this how really, and I think people don't want to be honest with what's really going on, how this thing was, because even with the what was it, Charlestonville or Charlottesville? Am I saying it right? What happened to Charleston? Remember when Trump came up and said, "What's up, cuz?" When he came up and said it was good people on both sides.
Mm.
Was it Charlottesville or am I right or wrong? Can you help me on the chat? When he did that, then when you go look at the January 6th, I keep people, oh, it was a setup, you did this and that. But only one thing everybody can agree upon. If that would have been a black organization, let's just go with they say Black Lives Matter. They love to throw that out there. If they went up there and stormed the DC Capitol, and this is where you see the hypocrite Charlottesville. Okay, thanks, Charlottesville. Thanks, Concrete. This way you can see where the hypocrite come in at. They'll come back. You have people come back and say, well, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? Well, they'll agree that if it was blacks who stormed the Capitol, you wouldn't have been seeing no president pardoning them.
You
You
would have
wouldn't have
never
been
made it to the
never
steps.
yeah, you wouldn't have been seeing none of that. You wouldn't have been seeing, well, they was forced, it was a setup. Yeah, it'd be a lot of setup. It ain't nothing new that the people don't be planning in on it, but that's my thing. Until you start getting the people at the top and you only locking up as the youngers call it, the goofies, the gophers, at the bottom, you're gonna keep getting these same games being played. You would expose and play it next year or 2
The
years later.
beauty in this is that it. I hope that when people are tuning in and nicely contributing their $5 for this great $5 Friday for 810 News Media Group for the news that you can use, because if not, you wouldn't be in the chat. So just remember to hit the like button, and if you got it in your heart after this good, instead of spending on Black Friday, you can spend it on us because we're Black and it's Friday. So happy $5 Friday. There you go. But yeah, man, listen. I hope that when people see at least this little melanated face on Friday and you hear what's happening in these District of Columbia streets, it's just a reminder to let you know that your capital, your nation's capital, is under siege. And there's some things that are happening that they're testing out here that they're going to be traveling down the road with later on. So, I'm hoping to let you know how we're tightening up the lines here to try to fight without the lowest form of like representation. Because once again, we don't have a governor. We don't have a midpoint. We are just straight government to government. There's no buffer in between to tell Captain Orange no and things like that. Hence why you saw if you look for the press conference after the unaliving, you'll see Captain Winky, aka Patel, in the front ticking away, telling us how we're going to be further oppressed. So we don't even have any contact with these people that are giving rules for how we're supposed to be living for the next 30 days, 90 days. I don't even know. I stopped counting after August 4th. That was the last day of civil.
Yeah, but that just show you the BS. That's just like what you was hearing on there. What we need the troops here. They made like I say, everybody make excuses for what they want done. But let them go oppress their neighborhoods. Let them go oppress their neighborhoods. You'll see a different thing. You'll see a different outcome. And like I say, you don't know really who to believe on either side, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying?
We don't have no friends here.
Ain't no
DC
friends.
been a blue city that wants to be a state for a while now. And yet we still had the same outcomes that you'll see in the heavily red state. We got people that are homeless. We got children that are being fed by community, but not by government. We got government officials that are telling us they care about us and they want us to be safe and be stabilized, but then they creating policies that are putting us in the streets. It's wild. It's a wild experience to be dealing with in a space that has so much legacy and lore of being the chocolate city and the safe haven for Black people. That's not the case as here. Are we making it? Are we loving on each other? Yes, we are. But are we struggling from top down? Absolutely. And I can only go on here and tell the story because somebody got to tell how DC really unraveled later on in the history book. So I appreciate y'all being here to hear my testimony in my apocalyptic diaries.
For sure. For sure. No, I
can't afford it.
No, I agree with you, but it just shows you how crazy that a lot of the stuff that's going on. And I get it because, like I said, I've been watching some of the news what's been going on in DC. Lovely Lynch, thank you for tapping in. No Games, good morning. Terry Nixon, good morning. Thank y'all for tapping in. Let me see what Lovely Lynch said. I would like to know how this affect Dearborn, Michigan, and Ham Tramick after the death of this National Guard officer. Yogi just told y'all they might, you don't know, they might play. This might be a big psyop that they finna put down. You never know. You never know. Even with that Dearborn, look how that played out. Look how that whole thing played out. And you got people still to this day don't see nothing wrong with what was did. Still to this day, can't see what was wrong, what was did. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it, trying to make the excuses. I get it, they trying to make excuses. Well, they didn't know. Anytime, just to, you know what, Lovely Lynch, it might heat up in Michigan because it seems like here you got some people just can fall for anything. In my humble opinion,
we got Winters in the chat. I'm sorry, I had to make sure that we said hello and good morning. She reminded people that it's $5 Friday. Man, like I said, like Winters, it's $5 Friday. Yeah. Nah, go ahead, man.
Nah, you right. I'm just facts. We need that. That you can see we are crowdfunded. That's why we can come on here and talk about everybody. And once we get that money from them people, I'm gonna be saying everything is going good in Flint. I'm gonna be like everybody else.
If y'all seen Hunger Games, if I can get that job with the lady, like, welcome to the Hunger Games, may the odds forever be in your favor. I'm looking to audition for that because I don't think struggle in that kind of capacity that they offering is meal for me. Like I'm not built for that. There's certain things you just know in your life you're not built for, like plantation work. I'm not built for that.
What facts? What's up, Marcia A. Tarver? Lovely Lynch. Good morning. I mean, Lovely Lynch said your first ward councilman is all over the news for DV. And I'm surprised it even made the news. To be honest with you, I'm surprised it made. But this is nothing new. Just go look at what they got at DC. It was the congressman. I remember Trevor mentioned it. Had jumped on his girlfriend or something, and ain't nothing happened with that. They don't care. Listen, that's why when you hear me talking about them Epstein files, that show you to what level they will go against. I know I'm not trying to go back because I'm not really hip to really the Flint politics. I'm off the loop too.
Thanks,
Lovely. For the $4.99, Chicago flips red. Anything possible. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm just being honest with you. I'm just gonna be honest with you. You know what? It's just listen.
It's all rigged in my book, Raphael. You ain't never lie.
Let me see what Philip Johnson said. What did he say? He said, "Good morning. If there's a segment coming about these systems like housing and financial systems, I have some insight I feel compelled to bring to the public when it comes around." Oh, facts. Somebody, you know what?
Like that, the members only, and I'll join it myself because I need that info because it ain't happening here from the people that's telling me we got opportunities around here. I ain't found them yet.
Listen, when they say housing, I'm trying not to laugh because I'm being serious. Tasha Lynn, good morning. I'm not trying to laugh. I'm trying to be serious. When they say, do you know what? And I mean that's probably compared to what y'all housing is down in DC, but they act like housing here is just like everybody got $100,000 job where you can go like them new condos they done put down there from 100 to 200. Who's gonna be able to afford that?
Man, listen, you paying $2,000 to live with rats and roaches.
Facts, no selling out. Sir Gregory, good morning. Let me see. The prosecutor was on. Let me see. Lovely. The prosecutor was on the news stating he strangled and beat her. Nobody in Flint is speaking out. Yeah, they is. We've been hollering about it. You seen Winters come on here and she tell you about her experience, but ain't nobody care. You know what I'm saying? Don't nobody care really about that unless you and piss them off, and then your business will get leaked out. Hope Beasley with the $5 Friday. Thank you, beloved.
I think it's hard to, and once again, let me just, for those who have not been introduced to me as a person, my name is Yogi G, and I'm from DC. I'm a journalism and media strategy student, which means I'm paying thousands of dollars and possibly some plantation time just to be able to bring my opinions and thoughts and what I learned to you on this good 810 News Media Group today. And I'd say to you that seeking justice, also, I do community organizing too, I like to, not tooting my horn, but I'm just saying, I'm speaking from a perspective of someone who's also recognizing that we have troubles, but also looking for solutions in between. And I would say that seeking justice during these times is kind of hard. You got all these lawsuits that are happening and you got all of these people who are speaking out, but who is our anchor of execution of justice? It ain't quite there just yet. Normally we would expect that from a government that was like concerned about maintaining humanity, but I'm not thinking we're getting that in this administration. I don't know. Could just be me. Chat, what you think? You think we really gonna get justice without some things going down? Because I remember there was an interview that I think it might have been Don Lemon or it was someone out here in these streets that said that they can't pinpoint one moment of justice that we as Black Americans have had that didn't require some form of like bloodshed. And I know people hate to think about that, but we got Raw and Uncut said, reading is hard on these sides.
I got you. It said the segregation in downtown areas of every major cities in Flint forgot to put in local income housing for the people. And to me, it seems like they're pushing people out to put other people in. I love Marcia A. Tarver with that $5 super chat. It's $5 Friday. I challenge all in the chat to match or exceed my $5. Thank you, beloved. Let me see what Lovely Lynn said. I am very sorry that those things have happened to women in Michigan. I thought Michigan was pro-woman and laws were favoring women. Shit. If you from the hood, I mean, if you from the lower, you po, you might. You might. Let me hold up on that. It all depends on who you know. Because you can mess around and be, I ain't gonna mess with it. Okay,
Use your
listen.
words wisely. Cancel culture.
I am. I do believe if you consider the rebel rouser, they don't care what happened to you. Meaning, if you speaking out against stuff that's going on here, I don't think you're gonna get the help that you might be seeking.
Money still got to flow, and people gonna make sure that it's not. That's my point. That it's not a space right now where people are being held accountable for what we deem as being crimes. These are just people that are doing the norm, and it's not just subjected to Flint only. It's not just DC. This is happening all over. It is a mass takeover if you're not understanding where we are. And you don't need a 10-fold hat on for that, to see that. It's so many things that are happening in this world that let you know that you got to make some decisions about what side of history, one, you're going to be on, and then two, how you going to exert your energy when you talk about trying to get justice. Like, I think that what I tell my people when I'm talking about Flint is that you need to tap in and watch. Not so much just to be a spectator, but just to see just how uncanny it is, or like how upfront it is, corruption. And if you don't believe it in Flint, you can come on over and watch what's happening in DC and see how we being broke down. But the thing is, it's like if you can't even go to your highest component of like law and order to get something, because we saw Mick, you put me on when y'all had who was that y'all governor that was in there with Neely? Who was that?
No, that was I think the Attorney General. Thank you. I ain't going nowhere. Member for 9 months. Thank you, beloved. And we will have a members only at 1:00 with Brother Elliot. Now, I just caught her. Thank you for reminding me. She said found a way to support from Philly. Thank you, beloved.
Word.
Lovely Mitch. It's $5 Friday and been a member for 4 months. Thank you.
Yeah, so that was y'all Attorney General, and the way they played a tennis match in that room was disrespectful.
Hey, did you see how she threw that thing? Dana Nessel threw that thing right over there to the mayor. He had to get up there, Negro explaining.
Yeah, and I don't like them.
The most tested water. I'm sitting there, but then that was Miss Taylor, the lovely Miss Taylor, was when she told her, "No, you dropped the case. Y'all did." It's like there's no accountability, and it's like they don't care. They don't care. Listen, a whole. Go ahead.
And then the way that he played with y'all mind, and like ours, I'm gonna say play with our mind, because I hated to be a part of the chat to watch it. Right. That you said it there, and instead of you addressing the concern of your constituents, you go into shaming and telling them how to behave because we have this grand person in the room who's taking time to come and talk to the little people. Are you kidding? Are you sick in the head? You gotta be. Because I'm sitting out here watching my family basically pass away with no resolutions. And a community of people can't be lying that they are being poisoned. And you sit up there talking about, nah, who you gonna believe, me or your lying eyes? What?
Sir Gregory said the challenge accepted now to the ones in the back. You heard?
You better know it. You know.
And you see Winter said it's for sure. Winter says it's a nightly nip, 6 p.m.ish. So that means 6:45, close to 7. You never know. I digress.
I got midterm, so I'm gonna catch the replay gang. Strong, what's up in the chat for the replay gang? Mm-hmm.
I digress. But see, look, I'm gonna look. Philip Johnson been dropping some knowledge in the chat. He said people go to these lawyers who evade them or play them. So folks create these organizations to provide the kind of legal aid that the people are supposed to be bringing. Hey, listen, and people still don't see it. Listen, I ain't trying to be funny, but this is where you see the system being played at. Do you know I know women who went out and tried to get PPOs on people and couldn't get none? And you had some credible stuff. You got, and I hate to use him as an example, but it's just the truth. A councilman in the first ward, he can go get this is 6 PPO that he done put out on somebody. He can go get them put out. And I mean, but you got other people who done had stuff happen to them and theirs can't get through. It's just mighty strange. I'm just saying, it's strange.
That's wild. Because the algorithm is always listening. So my Facebook has been populating Flint news like crazy. And I saw that little PPO up and coming announcement that A10 put out there. And I was just like, man, they got time to play around like that. See, our Popo don't like that. They don't like being misused and put into drama. So what they do is they just take the both of y'all.
Why you think Jed caused so much problems? And I put it right up here what Lovely Lynch just said. Let me put it on the chat for the people who can see and you can understand what's going on. When I saw the water has never been fixed, people are dying from rare cancers in Flint, all I could do was think of why they were shutting Jed Brown. You know why they shut him up? Because they was like, hold up, we got to go back and Did you watch Council? When you saw, they didn't even want to do a test to study the test. They didn't want to do a study. Didn't want to do a study. You saw the city administrator. I think that's for Clyde. Whatever Clyde, the Jamaican up there with all the jobs. Clyde got about 30 more. I mean, excuse my French. Clyde has like 30 jobs up there. So when you seeing them fighting, saying where the money coming from, shit, how you keep finding money to pay all these other things off? Like, y'all can find money for this. You see, when Liddell wanted to get that $270, she thought she was going to get that $30,000 war money. You found money for that? Even though y'all didn't let it pass through, but y'all find the shit. When Trevor went through it, they just passed down there with close to $3 million. Super sticker from Brianna Busted Benz and Shocked with that $5 super chat. That's all I'm saying. And let's don't even get to that. Let's get to the part that Art done brought to the light, him and Councilwoman Tanya Burns with the neighborhood engagement hub. You mean to tell me you got your $30,000 and you took that money and fixed up your own stuff, your own property, and that wasn't against the law?
Raggedy.
I'm just trying to figure it out. And we got a Mama Quill with the $4.99 super sticker. I'm just trying to figure it out. I could be wrong. Like I say, hey, listen, I stand. If I'm wrong, hey, and that's what I'm saying.
Well, see, Phillip, that's what I'm saying. Like, go ahead, read what Phillip said.
Whenever Flint did do testing, if it came from the city, county, health, or state, they played it and danced around the problem to create false results. That's what I'm saying. You ain't gonna be able to trust these people.
That's what I'm saying, man. Listen, I don't know. I'm finding a lot of comfort in the past. And also, it helps me be able to not to go full-blown crazy from all of the things that are happening. But, like, once again, when you look at how back in the day people were able to seek justice and just highlight things, it's by bringing people from the outside in, right, to talk about Jed. And that was the action, I feel, and the chat can get me right, that they were bringing somebody who had power on the outside and had influence to come and highlight what was happening in Flint. But then Flint said, see, you didn't get the memo that we got, that we can run this ship the way we want to. And so we're going to treat you how we treat everybody else and give you some time and give you some cases and see how you feel about that. And I don't think Jed been back in the streets too much since that been happening, has he?
Shit, with you? Let's be honest, man. Christy Coleman, thank you for tapping in from that Dallas Fort Worth, Texas. Christy, you heard? He said, Philip Johnson said, I look at this positive. Whenever came about wrong, teaches folks ways that are right and short lessons learned. Oh, no, it do. You have to really watch how it was maneuvering around here. You just have to sit back. You just have to sit back and watch what's going on. That's how I look at stuff. You learn your lessons and you tend to move back. You like, okay. That's why I tell anybody, if you come, you better hope that you are accepted, because you coming into a civil war. and will be used, will be bait. Your ass will get used as bait and will get played. I'm just being serious. You will. You better hook
That's
up
what
with
I
the
said. If I ever visit Flint, I'm coming through, giving the wave and going back on.
yeah.
I got my own battles, but I will tell the story because it's not right, you know.
Yeah, but this is what you'll run into, and I hate because I don't want to be like getting off into it, but it just is what it is. When Jed came up here, Jed caught so much flack. Jed probably still wondering what went down, and I saw what you said, Philip. Nah, Philip, I'm just sitting back and watching too. Let me see. Let me see what Philip said. Hold up. I gotta go. Let me see what Lovey Lynch said. Even in Chicago, the Democratic Party didn't want Jed Brown around for him bringing attention to Flint. Facts. I can believe that. Jed probably saying what it is. You know.
But you got to look at right. Okay, so Jed was trying to help out Flint, or was brought to help out highlight the narrative of Flint, right? You see what's happening in Chicago right now? Like Jed got his food. There's a lot of things popping up. But once again, I just want to this not to be sorry or not be solution oriented, but just help lay the foundation of where reality lies and what we're dealing with, right? There are fires happening everywhere. See, at first they used to just funnel their hate in certain spaces, and that's how everybody from outside was able to come in and be like, no, this ain't right. Like, remember Black Lives Matter? When everybody was protesting from here to international waters, because everybody had time to hyper focus on what was happening in these specific areas to be like, oh, that's not right, because we don't live like that over here. But right now, everybody is fighting the line. Everybody's trying to defend what is morally right according to how you live and how you've been trained, what is like a humanitarian right. You know, like we all are firefighters out here. So I don't know. Like it's gonna take the people in their own spaces to make sure that you keep elevating and fighting and documenting, because right now Superman is not around. There's nobody that's getting ready to fly out this ground with a cape that's going to help make all of this right. You know, you got to find your own S on your chest and figure it out.
I'm looking at what Lovey Lynch. She said Jed is suffering on a national level due to Flint. This thing is bigger than Flint. Flint is suffering. It's big money. Then she said, Jed Brown works in my community. We love him on the South Side, especially in South Shore community. Listen, I've been looking at some of his. I've been watching it. I've been watching Jed live, but then I was looking at that situation that he talking about now. Look, that thing so deep, it's diabolical. I just been watching some of the show. I was like, damn, so I understood like why he doing what he doing. Like, listen, man, we so messed up. That's why I brought up the Detroit Lions with Hendon Hooker. And I was talking to my cousin this morning, who was on the phone talking. I told him, cuz, we hollering about Shedeur Sanders, which is wrong. But people forgot what they did to Hendon Hooker. Hendon Hooker was at Tennessee. I think he was going to be a top 3 pick if he didn't blow his knee out doing it like the game 11. At Tennessee, he had them rolling. You know, they said him, didn't develop him, man, and gave Jared Goff all that money, and Goff was a bum, and don't nobody want to, you know, because we forget about them stories. See, we was overlooking that, and we was looking at Shedeur Sanders, and that boy probably on his way out the league, didn't get developed, but y'all wasted it. That's why I was saying earlier, like, and Brett Holmes is a black guy. Just like you had the Cleveland Browns, one of their GMs, he's black. But for them to do that to their own, that's why I'm like, listen, this whole thing is just terrible.
What's that? I'm saying what Philip put up there. Oh, but hold on. You gotta give me more information on that, Philip.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah. Okay.
So you tapping on something that's been in my ponder bank for a while. Like when America goes to war amongst themselves, and you have international discourses happening. Where do we find our allies at to help bail us out? Or
I
we
mean,
just gotta go at it.
but see, this is what you got to look at. You forgot when I know you didn't. You got to remember when the United Nations, when they was doing thing on race relations, you had at that time Colin Powell. What was the chief of staff for Bush at that? Condoleezza Rice. You know, they walked out on that at the United Nations. This is what you get. They walked out. This is what you get because America want to say they blind to what's going on. They blind. You see this? Oh, it says the Jenkins case didn't come out of nowhere. It's the Flint mayor who's angry because the people are hammering him with questions daily about their money. Okay, let me see what Lovely Lynn said on this. She said Jeb forced them to release the money a year earlier than they planned to. This thing with the water crisis is about money.
I think that's for you, Sir Gregory said. Did you see Jerry Jones in his private box laughing and acting like a proud slave owner?
I mean, that ain't nothing new.
I mean, y'all saw they put up the pictures of him and part of the crowd back in the day when Martin and them was out here protesting. I ain't gonna say he had a brick in his hand, but he wasn't too far from the people that had the bricks and the stones. All I'm saying.
But check this out. And remember when I played that video on the Big Six, right? Martin was in that Big Six when they paid them that $600,000 back then. I think that was equivalent to like a couple million. Like and I'm not saying that Martin did see the light, and Martin did start changing, but this is no different than today. We just get confused with like what happened yesterday. That's why they tell you, I don't know. I know the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said history is your best teacher. Because if you study history, you can understand there and see the future. This ain't nothing changing. You don't think they was buying off your leaders then? It ain't a reason J. Edgar Hoover, they was doing everything. They was steady going after the blacks. They did not want. He didn't say the Messiah was going to come out the blacks for a reason. They want to keep you dumb, blind, deaf, and dumb. That's the purpose. If we can keep fooling y'all, telling y'all going to get something, they selling us hope. That's just like every 4 years and every 2 years you getting sold hope. Like come next year. Y'all finna hope the people that they put in. Even with y'all, y'all gotta hope the next mayor gonna come in, gonna think about the residents. Like we gotta hope the next mayor here, whoever come in, or the next council people that's gonna be running, that they can really fix this situation.
Hope. And you know how we feel about hope. Dick Gregory said, F hope.
Yeah. The Bible tell you God bless the child that can hold his own for all them good Bible thumpers. Facts, Raphael Burr. You see what he said? Patterns don't lie with history. See, we still think, man, I want to play this. I might go play it before the show over with. Well, Mike Epps, he was just on there with Jim Jones doing a podcast. He said, people don't understand. He said, they think we ain't on the plantation. He said, we give you money. They give us money to clown our own. But soon as you get money, you start talking crazy to them, you think you bigger than the program? Oh, they'll show you. They'll take your money from you. They give you money to do, but once you wake up or you got any, why you think you don't get none? All these black billionaires we got, why ain't none of them came in and bought none of these factories or nothing like that to open up, to create their own? Why we ain't created none who thought like the people who started Tulsa, Oklahoma? We ain't thought about none of the people like we ain't got no more of them people who started Rosewood. You may be on to something, Christy Coleman. I'm just telling you that they sit up here. That's why you'll have people say, "Oh, every 25 years, we gotta read this to keep the blacks voting." Why is that even on the books? Why is we even have? That's like when Jason, We the People came in when he was like, "Oh, we got the vote in there for y'all can vote." So we couldn't be free. You can't be born free. Like ain't nobody.
That's the challenge of the history that we're laying in, right? The facade or the
Good morning, Beverly
messaging
Bills.
doesn't match
Yeah,
the implementation. We already we what we know for sure, courtesy of the receipts of history that hasn't been
facts.
tainted, is that one, if you look like you or I, that there are really some barriers that were that still continue to exist. That's what you're talking about, right? That we have to still be considered as citizens every so
Facts.
often. So that's problematic. But then again, it's kind of like this is why people move around and try to see what other parts of the country or the world that you can maybe exist in for a little bit, where you won't be villainized for being melanated.
Yeah,
And then at the end of the day, like if you can't find other spaces that you can go to and like make a civil life and just be able to exist as a human being in, then what's the next step? Then to create silo communities that you can help take care of each other and protect each other. I
Ju-
mean,
I-
at least that's what we're doing here in DC, right? Because like we
right.
kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. Like if you go any other place, you're not really escaping the things that you're dealing with here in DC. We don't get any special perks because we're in the nation's capital. If anything,
Right.
I wouldn't say we're feeling it more than anybody else, but I just don't want anybody to think that we're protected because we're closer to the source. You
Right.
know, like we are like the original petri dish of what's going on. It's just a little more better managed in messaging. You don't get as prominent reports about discourse as you would in other spaces, unless it's helping with Agent Orange and what they want to do. But at the end of the day, we just learning how to really kind of galvanize our resources to really strengthen our communities individually without having to really be dependent on the government that we're supposed to be getting help from.
The facts. That's just like right now. And what's my man name? He died getting good trouble. It was that Elijah Cummings. Am I saying? Oh, who was
Mm-hmm.
the one that said good trouble? What happened when they was gonna do the thing on? They were supposed to do the thing on hearings about the Flint water crisis. He died. That went away. No more. They did no more again. He died. It went away. Where's the congressional Black Caucus at on this fight? I'm even call out Rashida Tlaib. Where is she at on this about this Flint water crisis? Don't get me wrong. I feel bad for what happened to the people in Dearborn. But where is they at now? Because to me, in my humble opinion, us blacks, we go fight everybody battles. Everybody battles. What about them coming in and now turn some of that? Let's talk about this Flint water crisis. Don't get me wrong. What they went down and did in Dearborn was straight up. It was nothing but racism. I'm gonna call it what it is. But won't they? Well, now won't she come on? Because they gonna deal with that down there. But why they can't come around and come back and hey, listen, my people down there in Flint suffering.
I mean, you also have to consider the level of danger, right, that comes with you being an advocate or you being a person that's willing to highlight things that are corrupt and things that need to be addressed, especially when you talk about Black liberation, right? I'll use that word today. Um, because fear is real. Like everybody think that they can do the job of a leader until they become one, and then they realize just how many guns you got pointed at you. Right? That's a hard. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, and maybe that's the question that we should start asking people who potentially want to be our leaders. Are you willing to die for the cause? Are you willing to like be constantly harassed and things like that? Because that's what really comes with elevating a lot of these things that we're talking about.
They don't. They remember
When
what
you
happened
stop
to
when
Megan
you
Eggert.
stop at big money, when you stop at big money like that, like you really are tapping into some unknown territories. And a lot of people they just want to be sign holders. They just want to be soundboards, and they don't want to be soldiers because that calls for a whole different kind of mindset and a whole different part of accountability. Oh, the chat been going off. Philip been giving us some good stuff. I
Hey,
know we missed some
Yogi.
things.
Yes, I want you to read the ones he got. But you see that with Sir Gregory said the whole country was sold that the Flint water crisis was fixed. But peep this out, Yogi. That's what's even more diabolical. You mean to tell me that, man, it's like I say, whoever finna fight for this water, that's who Flint need to be who gonna come in with these next elections coming in? Because if y'all keep electing the same people, we're gonna keep getting the same result. That's all I'm saying. How can you expect the water to get fixed? How can you expect people to have compassion when you ain't got a governor? Like Sir Gregory said, got the whole nation thinking that the water was fixed. The whole nation
That's
think
why
the
I
water was
ask, Nick, like, that's why I ask these questions, you know what I mean? Because, like, it's my personal belief that we're never going to get the support from government that people are looking or expecting. That 40 acres and a mule conversation is so far down the line that they feel like they gave it to us 10 times more just to have the ability to sit here today on the internet is our 40 acres and a mule in some of their minds, right? So when you got that happening and you know actively that you are not going to get that kind of justice, if you will, then once again, I'm gonna keep reverting back to where does your community lie, right? Because I'm reading this book that talks about the theory of nonviolence and why it's so important to maintain in spaces like these versus kind of going straight into Malcolm, which is if you touch me, I'm gonna touch you. Pause for those who hear it in other Diddy ways, but if you operate in nonviolence, it maintains the onus of humility and humanity, right? It means that we are coming in the space of just wanting the autonomy to be able to live next to each other unbothered. But when you're talking about fighting in a way where you have to now get as violent as the person who's oppressing you, and especially when we're talking about fighting your own government, there are a lot of things that you have to have in check before you can topple a whole government. And unfortunately, pow pows and loyalty are two of those top things. And I'm not saying we'll never get it, but it's been how many years now for the melanated fight?
You've been there, what, 400 years? Almost 400?
And I'm just saying, we might be building tanks for the USA, but we ain't building them and putting them in the back of my side on the south side. I don't know nowhere on the south side that they don't got an American flag on it. They got a tank, got people that are sitting there with some real pow to be able to restructure these American streets in the way that we all want to see. So at the end of the day, what has been constant in these 400 years of oppression plus is that community is where we settle. And strengthening the community and fighting on their terms of democracy, which is where the plight of voting comes, has been the thing. Anything other than that, you blowing smoke up my cheeks, and I don't like that. You gotta show me where you got the war shit at. Excuse me, that was my two. But you gotta show me where your army. Yeah, before you be telling me that are you ready to die? Not quite yet. Not quite yet. I'm still trying to figure it out.
Because to me, it's like people like they auditioning to be the next one. I'm being honest with you. It's like people auditioning because they auditioning for the same so they could be the new ones, get the money. That's what it is. Because you're going to the same people. Listen,
true.
And I get it. People don't want to hear. They keep thinking that your people can be bought off. Let some money come in. They just ain't offer me no money, and I'm telling you.
Split water crisis and the residents' roots needs to be the focus. It should be. I agree, Christy Coleman, but that don't seem like where your council and your mayor is focused on.
Yeah, I'm looking at what Alan said. He said nonviolence were never the counterpart thought process. They had to make laws to make them semi-civil, seem civil. Okay. See, to me, it was like, I'm more with the Malcolm, with the nation theory was you put because you only get one life. You put your hand on me, I'm going to try to make sure you don't get it back, come back as a nub, because that's what you're supposed to do. You don't see, King was the most humble of them all. You could sick a dog on him. Then they're killed him, and he still come back and still show love. You can't keep doing that. King showed you how nice you can be, and they still have their view. See, people don't want to.
And at the end of it, he came to terms with the importance of the thought process that Malcolm had. You know, but once again, fear over years It's trauma that gets
Yeah,
generationally passed down. And so now we
yeah,
have a lot of people who have seen with their own eyes or even seen in black and white courtesy of media what America does with people who want to be high up and telling people what's really going down. And so when people
yeah,
step up and they talk about they want to be leaders, I think that sometimes they forget that that's the sacrifice that you're making, especially if you're going to be calling out the big guns about what they're not doing in our communities. And so
yeah.
it's not that I'm disagreeing with the fact that we need to stand up and speak out. I just want to remind people, on both ends, those who are voting for these so-called leaders and those who want to be leaders, that when you're looking for somebody that you want to support that's going to change, their verbiage has to be convictive like that of Malcolm X, in my mind. Like, because Malcolm spoke from a space of knowing that at any moment it was going to be over, and he was well with that. That's why we get all these double talkers, these little slithering snake talkers that want to sell you snake oil, but on the backside, they're keeping their sales safe. And you can tell the difference very vividly between somebody who walking it like they talking it and somebody who just shuffling you around just for the sake of getting down. I've had people who are close to me who are elected officials to tell me that I don't understand what's going on because I don't know what's happening in the back rooms. And see, that's problematic to me. Because as the person who's giving you my vote, who's trusting you with my life and my family's life, why the hell are you telling me that there's conversations that I'm not privy to because I wouldn't understand? Are you crazy? Or maybe you think I am, but I don't think there's nothing off the table when you talking about making decisions for me and mine.
No, no, because this just show you, and I'm gonna try to go. It was in the Bible, if I'm not mistaken, where it said the devil took Jesus up, tried to tempt Jesus. Like, I can give you all the wonders, right? See,
Mm.
people look at that and can't see that in today's time. What you think when they go take your people that you done vet? I mean, because I see what you're saying, Carol. She said just arriving. Has anyone put vetted candidates for? Put forward vetted candidates until we invest in vetting those who claim to want to serve in office. We will continue to get what we have been. What we have been. I want better. But this my thing, and it goes back to go back to the Bible when they said the devil tried to tempt Jesus. See, people don't think that people that you believe in getting tempted and they be failing. See, it's easy to say I'm gonna do this until you get some Matthew chapter 4. Thanks, Alan. Thanks, Alan, for putting that. See, people don't see that as right now. Like, oh, you ain't what you think in that book Jordan Sheridan said they go in, say your activists and your people running for office. They go in there talking to these billionaires. Then when they come out, they forgot the plan. They forgot the script that we supposed to do this. That's why you can see when you, and then as you see as the person get to DC as father, he get away from his constituents. He's damn sure forgetting what's going on because now he in DC. He got to play
Yeah,
by
because they
politics.
use your comfort against you, right? Because you take
Right,
somebody from the most impoverished circumstances and then you give them a few years of being able to not live in those circumstances, you think they're gonna
right,
willingly be willing to go back if their head not on straight and they constantly keeping themselves around the people who put them in office? See, that's the other part of coming to DC, right? You only bring a small group of people with you when you come to
right.
DC and you get to live in here like you an honorary resident and they're not living like us as the residents. I want you to understand people who are living in those spaces like the delegates and all that stuff, they not hanging over on the south side with us. They not coming over in the hood and doing community service. They going over there where the Kennedy Center is. They hanging in Georgetown. They going to the
Right.
speakeasies. They living the fabulous life. So then it's easy for you to forget until it's time for you to vote. And then they be like, "Oh, we've been taking care of your mammy that been sick with cancer and making sure she been in the finest establishment. You want her to go back to the slums?" And people start considering that. They start seeing their children's faces and the people who they really love that are close to them faces, and they start thinking about that experience, and that's what they start voting towards. Blanketed statement, but not very specific. So I don't want anybody to be like, it's not everybody. Yeah, I hear you. It's not everybody, but it's too many people that person from
Yeah,
202 and 810 sitting here talking about two different experiences, but yet it's connected. So like,
right.
find the lie.
Yeah. Just think when you had, and I gotta give the councilwoman Tanya Burns and the Sixth Ward credit. What she said, and people y'all might have been paying attention. She was like, she said, the mayor said he want to get back down to Lansing. He call it Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? It's like he want to be. This is BS to him. You know what I'm saying? Even though he probably making more money, he want to be down there where the big boys at. You know what I'm saying? That's comparable like DC. You know, when you make it to the state capital, he don't want to be down here. He want to be up there where they really put moves down. He saw that. He saw that what was going on. He saw what was going on.
You might have a space the way we got openers in our council. Boy, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw nearly on the ballot tomorrow.
Yeah. See, I get what you're saying, Philip. I just don't see who you can get. I'm not saying I got to give 21 credit on this. 21 did say this. He said the people from back in the day, they took money, but he said they did give a little something. The way they got this thing, listen, man, you know how many tires, front end work I had to get done on 2 cars because hitting potholes in Flint? That's what I did. You know how many nails I done got out? I had to go get the tires there 3 because in the street. That's what I'm telling you, just how bad Flint Streets is. But yet, you can go to cities right next door, maybe 7 minutes away, 8 minutes away, and they streets better than what we got going on here.
Now, let me just say this for Claudette, right? Like, once again, we talk about, let me speak from a place that I say for that way. I talk about melanated leadership from a perspective of being experiencing that we have breakdown in communication and representation in all spaces. But do I think that if we had not had opportunity to still be under Black leadership, that we would be totally screwed? Yes. Like, it's sad to say, right? And don't hang me up because of it or counsel me, good people. I'm just a person trying to give a perspective. That if we were in non-melanated leadership, that we would have been way, way, way further back than what we are today. You know, respectability politics has helped us in some kind of ways. So I wouldn't get too comfortable with saying that constantly, that it's because Blacks have been in control. Or maybe I misread that. I don't want to project.
Just look at this. You got Judy Priestley. Her ward, and don't get me wrong, the 4th ward, it ain't no better. Like I say, her ward ain't the only one messed up. But you would think, you got Judy Priestley is the councilwoman, put respect, 4th ward councilwoman. You got her, in her mind, the water not messed up. See, these are the type of people that you get on council that don't make sense. Like, this is what Flint got. You got a person who believes. I understand why she been fighting, saying her. I understand her because she been saying this from Jump Street. The water ain't bad in her mind. But see, this is a person that you got representing you in your ward. Same thing with the 2nd ward. You have people. Damn, really same thing from 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. And where the 7th came on and said she wouldn't drink the water without a filter on it. But these are people that you have elected in y'all wards, and you wondering, and the people study asking why we ain't got our checks. And then they coming up here. Oh, we're gonna, they listen, family. When they put that thing on there, said from 1,000 to 100,000. And it was only 20-some thousand people that made it. I mean, was it 30-some thousand? It was there over 100,000 people who was poisoned. Do that math. They did everything in the book that they could to try to disqualify many as they could. Then they did this thing. Your pay came on if you had lead, then you had to take that bone lead test. Like all the things they wanted to do not to pay the people. And people still acting like this government is really going to help them. The lawyers got their money first. They ain't waiting on 11 years or 12 years to get their money. The lawyers got their money first. And you mean to tell me what the cap they put on it, and they said, oh, well, because of the kids. Who got to take care of these kids that's jammed up? Like, it just, I don't get it. Don't the kids got to wait till they're 18 to get their money? Then on top of that, just say you was on Medicaid. They want their money. It's like so much stuff. Then they say if you behind in taxes, they find in every way to take the money from you. And you wonder why the governor going around saying the water is great. I mean, the water's fixed. That's Flint for you.
Man, that's everywhere. We don't even talk about our water as much as y'all elevating it in Flint, because DC got some water pollution happening too. We had Pepco, our electric company that runs DC, was just caught for illegally dumping waste, and they paid the city back $51 million. But this year, while they paid that 51, they made $101 billion back because they upped the prices on our services. And I was just like, what? How does that work? And now we're talking about how we had this really bad storm, and now our water, they talked about it briefly in the news, but they never talked about it again, how we had waste running off into our water system. And so, we had people that are telling us too that, hey, it's okay, y'all be all right, we not suffering. But I'd say that the way we got people around here, nodding out and stuff like that, it ain't just the K2 or the what's the other stuff, the fence. It ain't just the fence. I think there's some other factors that play around here that they're just not talking about. Because we still the nation's capital, so you can't say that you're polluting the people in your nation's capital, right? You can't say it outward. But we dealing with that too. We got poor air quality here. It's the nation's capital. We're a small southern town that wants to be a big city in the state. And we got poor water quality, and our education is doo-doo, even though they're trying to work on the narrative right now, because if we say openly that we're not servicing all of our residents, especially our Black and brown residents, then that means they'll cut more money from our funding. So that's why we try to keep it on the hush so that they don't take more money from us, but we ain't doing no better. Under melanated rule, I just like to say that, not because I'm trying to bash us, but I'm just trying to say that, like, we got to find a better system of accountability that's not just based on whether they Black, whether they friends with my homies, whether they've been giving money to my church. Like, we got to find a better way to start getting our leaders out here, people.
Listen, Yogi, when you got a school graduating kids that's reading at a 4th grade level, then the school board, let alone, man. Oh my God! I get so sick of talking about this Flint School Board, man.
Yeah, let me talk about DC
they doing the work.
I'll tell you about DC school though, right?
Go ahead.
This is a true story, by the way, and I ain't no shame in my game because I'm fixing it. But I was digging through my papers one day, and I needed to find my transcript, and I said, I had never looked at my school transcript from high school. I just kind of been floating through life. Once it was over, it was over. And so I'm sitting there reading my transcript, and I'm like, in my mind saying, damn, this is crazy. I don't even know how I made it out. And then my 11-year-old son came and walked up behind me and said, dang, Mom, they just wanted you out of there. And I said, damn, if an 11-year-old who didn't even hear none of my conversation before he walked into the room could just come in and figure that out, then what happened to all the damn adults that shook my hand when I walked across that stage and told me congratulations? Couldn't figure out that I needed some additional supports. And it's not because I couldn't mentally show up. I mean, I couldn't mentally show up because of things that were happening in my community. But like, it's not because I'm slow is not the proper term. But I didn't have any challenges picking up what they were putting down. I just had challenges being able to consistently do it because I was living in a high volatile neighborhood and going through some things. But how can I walk across the stage, and I'm in my 40s, and this is the same story now that I'm talking about with my own children? So they just show you this has been decades and decades of you turning out people and children who are not prepared to deal with the world right now. That's why we man down out here. You need soldiers. You need people that are woke and aware of what's going on for us to make the changes that people want to see happen. But because we have been duped in our educational system, first and foremost, you know how that's worked out for us and indigenous people being in Americanized school systems. I mean, we are where we are, and we got to take accountability first and foremost by re-educating our community and letting them know that we really going through this. This is not a drill. You are not on a movie set. We are dealing with this in real time. I think that's what it is, Mick. I think people still think we in the movies or something. We in an alternate universe. They haven't tapped in that we really are locked into this.
No, they don't want. They thought we off the plantation. They thought the shackles and the chains came off because they let you move off they land into some land on your own, and you thought you was really doing something. Like we the only ones got to see. We don't want to accept, and it ain't just us. We don't want to accept that they really have sundown towns. We don't want to accept when we have to send our kids to the all white school. We don't know what our kids go through. They don't tell you what you put your kids through when you send them to schools like that. So they're not gonna tell you that. You know what I'm saying? But you down there in a catch-22. Do I keep my kids in the Flint school system where they done stripped down like you strip a car? Or do I send them on the outskirts and hope they got the, you know what I'm saying, that they can handle it going to these all white schools? Because to be honest with you, they only want to accept certain ones, and they're my athletes. That's why you seeing such as like Kyman was doing better. All these white schools doing better, Kersley and them. They weren't doing that back in the day when I grew up. They didn't do that. That's why you can see a South. You would think Southwestern would have a hell of a basketball team. Hell no. Who would send their kids to these Flint schools?
Philip been killing the chat along with everybody else.
No,
I'm
but
just
see,
saying here.
but see, we act like that's not real. Then you would hear some stuff that listen, they just had a shop. I can't think, was it in Defiance, Ohio, or somewhere? They was talking about how a General Motors shop, how the people was being racist things, was being really terrorized by racists down there. It was some plant in Ohio. It was a GM plant. But see, we act like and overlook that. I forgot it was just on somebody that put it on Facebook, like the one guy, he came in, the guy he was at a fire chief or something, I don't know if it was NY or something, where he made a noose and gonna give it to the black guy like that.
Oh man, yeah, I saw that.
You know what I'm saying? But
he was comfortable. He just
they don't want to admit that Trump pulled back. He peeled the onion back of the racist rhetoric that was saying he was pumping it. See, that,
I mean, when what's that? The new thing we done deemed as a black moment with the whole throwing the hat in the air, the chair. Was it Chairgate? What they call it? You know, when all the people gathered down by the river and held old down. It's kind of like that, like an all call for the good old boys that believe to go back in time, and you know, when we had a place and we need to relearn our place. That's what he did. He did the all call, threw the hat in the air and said, "Come on, the skirt."
Yeah, when they say, "Oh, let's make America great again," when was America not great? Like, when did they see it wasn't great? So you have to look at really like the little rhetoric that's being said. But don't nobody want to admit that part. You know, it's easy just to point. Oh, it's dumb. It's dumb. It's dumb. They're not gonna talk about, man. There's other communities that's non-melanated that have problems going on up in there. But they're not gonna say that. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna listen, they're not gonna say it. Let's just be honest. They gonna do that per capita bullshit that they know that we can win by per capita. That's why it's, to me, it's like, until you can get people in that's going to challenge the status quo, I don't think you don't have none of them. Why you think they keep coming up? Like, they do anything to try to minimize what you talking about, like your problems ain't got no issues. And we just not looking. That's like the DEI. Who did DEI really help?
As I understand it, they said it was helping us, but it was helping a lot more people that don't look like us before it even tapped into helping us. That's what I heard.
And I'll give you another one. I was just watching this morning. Just show you the wicked stuff that we have to go put up with. It was some lady with the strongest women contest, right? Now, I don't know if y'all seen it. It was a man that wanted to identify as a woman, but he didn't tell him that. The woman who really came in first place, when they found out what it was, see, this is the games that you're going to get into. See, but we'll fight for stuff like that. I'm not knocking nobody, but it's just like, and I get it, some of the culture wars that's going on, but to me, we still got other fights that we need to be fighting about, and a lot of these other fights ain't got nothing to do with us. I'm just gonna be honest with you. That's like right now, the whole focus should be on Flint water crisis, but we fighting all this other stuff that we forgetting about the water crisis. You know, we offering too many different things, and that's why I'm saying, like, the Democratic Party. I don't, to be honest with you, I couldn't even tell you who the blacks to go vote for. I can't tell you who to go vote for. To be honest with you, I ain't gonna tell you to go vote Republican like they gonna help you. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I think that's a piss poor when the Republicans say, "What you got to lose? Vote for us." Shit, you really want you? How you like it now? You think I would want Stephen Miller up there making decisions?
The only way that I can tell people on how you can try to get ahead of the curve, especially when you're talking about going to elections, is to have conversations with your neighbors. When we talk in the community organizing circles, we teach people how to have house meetings, how to do one-to-ones. Start getting to know the people that's in your community. Because a lot of times, some people are just not having conversations with people that have a different perspective. They stand in these siloed circles. And so if you really want to change the world, or you really are feeling concerned about what you're experiencing or what your next generation behind you might experience, you got to do your part. You can't sit on the sidelines and keep pointing the finger like the Spider-Man meme and hoping that things are going to change. Or even just being up in the chat is not enough. This is just a morning wake-up call for you to find something to do with the rest of your day to be better and not like the rest of the jerks that we're highlighting. Earn the donkey of the day, courtesy of A10 News Media. You just got to go out here and start talking to people. And if they don't agree with you, don't fight them. It's not your battle to sit up there and go back and turn into a personal debate. Maybe you can offer them a different perspective. It's about conversation. Or as I like to say in my community circles, TPD, tone, pitch, and delivery. And if you find that person doesn't share the same mindset that you do, move on if you can. Because some people are out here losing it day by day, second by second. So you can't afford to sit up here and argue with somebody that's already convinced that they're ready to see the world burn. But you can connect with somebody that has the same impact or says the same thought process that you have to be able to start building that C word, community. Because we know that you can't, like I said before, unless you come in with some real army power in these American soils, and the way that we so surveillance, you can't even talk about something without seeing a commercial for it on your phone. So I don't think you're going to get too far with that. I'm not being cynical, but I'm just saying you got some feet to jump. But what you can do is educate people and put them on like you're on about what's really going down. Let's see. Cornel West, last time, almost went for him, but I knew Harris' platform better. That's what Philip said. And he said, anytime I'm not right, I want folks to correct me. If we going to talk, let's be sure we can correct that part.
Right.
Concrete Jungle said, that's why I would tell people to become independent before I tell anyone to flip red.
I agree. That's what I'm saying. I can't tell you go be a Republican. I'm not that wise. You see, I went and voted for Kamala and didn't think Kamala could really change what was going on. I'm going to be honest with you. And I knew she wasn't going to win it because I know this is America. If they didn't let Hillary Clinton win, you thought they was going to elect a woman, a melanated woman? Regardless, we ain't going to just say, if you don't want to say she black or whatever, let's just go with melanated. Y'all thought they was going to let a melanated woman become president of the United States? I just want people to understand that. They really thought they was going to let a melanated woman become president. So we all fell for the banana in the tailpipe. I'm just being honest. And it's not no knock. Did we see, because that's why I say study history. White women couldn't vote. Who made it where women couldn't vote?
White men.
Yeah, okay, I'm just saying. You don't think they still? Didn't Trump just tell a woman on there he called her ugly or something, and they ain't bat an eye to a reporter that feel, I guess she was grilling him too hard, might have asked a question he didn't like.
Yeah, he said a lot of things about women reporters in there when they pushed him on things he didn't want to talk about.
Hold up, let's even go back to that. Remember how he talked about Stormy Daniels? Remember all that? She got a horse face. Remember all women? Oh, he's a snob. How many of them white women went in there and voted for Trump? Okay, y'all to see y'all don't want to have that real conversation. How many at the end of the day they looked at? What up, Sethy? I mean, let's just be honest. Y'all really thought they was gonna pick at the end of the day. I don't care what nobody say. They was voting for Trump. If it came between Trump and Kamala, you thought they was going. They gave it. Look, they said they gave us Obama. They gave us 2 terms. Don't you know how mad they was?
They gave us Obama because they needed to finish out their strategy of building the colorblind society. Personal opinion, right. Just from researching some things. You know, it's all strategic. They love to talk about the art of war. So why would you think that they haven't still been strategizing on how to create or maintain the intent of building America the way that they wanted it?
And who did they roll out there? Roland Martin. Have you seen the conscious community now? Don't you see how they beefing? You got Tariq Nasheed and what's my man, Professor James Small. They into it now. I'm just saying, just look at it. No, I'm just saying, but look how they beefing with each other. Even on that level, you got, you know what I'm saying? The whole, listen, man, everything is so, you don't know who on the take right now. When I see other people trying to say this person on the take, I be thinking they on the take. I'm just saying our community is so divided. I'm talking about the black community. It's so divided. It's even divided on people trying to wake other people up. You know, so like we hit. I'm gonna be honest with you. We hit. We hit. I don't know who we hit.
No, maybe you can get on the ballot. You know, Otis for 2026. I'm here for it.
Otis gonna take that money. Hey, Philip, you ain't lying. Just look at it on this way. You have people don't even be wanting people to go on each other podcasts. I ain't talking about on this level. I'm talking about the big level. You ain't see what's my man name? Used to be on CNN, Mark, when Joe Budden had to check Angela Wright on. It just show you like how we and Joe Budden is like one of the top far as this podcast again. We like it's like they got a crew that we only supposed to go over here. No, you go wherever you can, you know what I'm saying, where you can lend your voice.
Listen, I'm just it's gonna take all of us. You're not gonna get the shift that we need in politics by siloing communities, right? I get why we are strengthened together and that like-minded and everything like that, but like under this current democracy, you need everybody or just enough to make a shift.
I don't know, Sethy, what you might have did to her, whoever the young lady was. Sometimes you might come on here, you know, people be coming on here talking crazy sometimes.
Maybe they were talking about a different strain. Maybe it wasn't for
Yeah. No, I don't. Yeah. Might have been a different one.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, just look how the people was coming down and like, yo, I'm just saying, when you seen a woman was coming down there. Well, it was a different one.
Okay.
All I want to know is when you seen people coming down and asking to help the resident. Yeah, the lady was talking about how her house was raining in. than when you see people on council getting their houses fixed. That ain't a slap in the face to the community.
So that's why I asked, like I get that council is a beast right now in all the wrong ways. Like y'all got
Yeah.
like prime real estate for what you call them, the Timu, I don't know, Timu baddies or whatever, but like from a solution oriented space, like are there people that do have roofing skills that they can
Yeah.
share that knowledge amongst people, able-bodied people, so that you can go in and make people get donations for supplies to be able to start helping your community members to be able to fill the gap that the government is not willing to fill. You know what I'm saying? Like you can do two things at one time. You can walk and chew bubble gum. It turns out, and I know it takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of money, but you don't have to sit and be destitute to some of these situations. Like when we were talking about the SNAP benefits, and we were talking about people not being able to eat. Now I know different areas got different challenges and stuff like that. So I'm just highlighting some of the things they birthed out of us in DC, not being able to, or looking forward to not being able to count on our government. The community had to take over, and people started opening up little spaces where you can go grab food. We started putting little spaces where you can go and like they had refrigerators on the corners where you can go pick up canned food and things like that. Talk to your neighbors, see who got what.
Let's don't even get to that. We can touch on it briefly. The Campbell soup. Did you see what that CEO did?
Oh man, can I tell you how I went through my cabinet? It was like not one thing should be in here that got a Campbell's on it. That's crazy.
How many people was raised on that? Is the stores taking Campbell's off their shelves?
Nope.
I'm just saying when you see, and the key word is for poor people.
Yeah, that was wild. Not unheard of, not crazy to believe that it's true, but still wild even now to hear.
I'm just saying, like, I'm gonna get off. That's gonna be a different show, but I'm just saying, look at this, and we still don't understand what's going on. That's just like when you look in the neighborhood. Do you think that our area is getting the best meat that's coming in compared to the well-off to do areas? Me and my cousin was just having this conversation yesterday, and I don't know how McDonald's still in business. The way they produce burgers,
it's cheap, man.
You think it's that many cows? I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Cow meat.
I'm just saying.
Not even cow meat.
Did you see? I'm just saying allegedly. Did you see? This is the type of stuff that they go ahead and feed to the people. And I remember I was telling my cousin, I said that you remember when Bill Clinton, he used to love his McDonald's. It's so good. Yeah. See, his ass keep having all them open heart surgeries, right? It's just the stuff that it's like, oh my God. It's just like the stuff that they just feed. Hey, facts, fella. That's what I'm saying. Like, we caught up speaking on the on store food. It's not just people growing and raising their own. How many places have towns that let people grow and raise, or even have their own property to grow and raise on? Oh my goodness.
It's hard. I ain't saying it's easy. I'm just saying that if you're gonna work towards something that's gonna be feeling good to the heart and maybe sustainable before they find out that you finding a way to not to depend on them, you can start there. But then the soil is tainted. The water is tainted, even if you do find your own space to grow. So I guess you just gotta find a happy medium in this chaos.
Yeah. They feed you death and say, hey, we don't want you going to the doctor. What? Then on top of that, they like, hey, we're gonna cut the SNAP benefits on them. You're already feeding us the worst. Then you don't want to help. Let alone you want to give us to go to the doctor. Then you got people really around here say, oh, you don't need to go to the doctor. I don't want nobody to. What you mean you don't want nobody to go to the? So you just rather a person die off. But this just show you the mind state of the people of America. You got them saying, no, I'd rather a person just. And then what's so crazy, them same people that's telling you they don't want the SNAP, this and that, they talk about socialism, This for all the people that y'all hate socialism. Don't take that socialism program that you're getting. Let's just cut it off. If you're gonna do it real. So I don't be want to hear that when I don't want socialism to come here, but you taking the socialism programs though. Make that make sense, Yogi.
I'm looking in the chat.
I ain't ignoring your comments. I see what you said.
That's what I was about to say. Killer Cops, we don't ignore comments. We just get wrapped up in our own conversation sometimes. We come back to the chat. We love the chat. Chat is a part of the conversation.
No, we ain't ignoring your comments. You know, they be coming in hot like fire. And that's going back to what Alan said, the USDA, FDA. See what I'm saying? So how can you expect to get, like, they going to do this test on the Flint water, right? Do you really expect the people that can come in and that's going to say, going to come in? When Obama did that little drink at Northwestern and came and shot a jump shot, we thought that was something. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of the stuff that went down here. I don't know who, like they say, they won't test. The city right now want to do testing. Well, not the city. Not the city, the council. They want to do some testing. Certain ones, a lot of them don't. They want to do some testing. Do you honestly think we're gonna get a fair testing so you can find out what's still in the water?
I don't think so, because there's no consistent profit in solutions at most, or at least they don't think so. They feel like it's more points and chaos than it is in solutions.
Just look at, to me, I see it as a money grab. It's from the people finna sign up, like, we'll do the testing so they can find another way to get some money. To me, that's what it's gonna be, and they're gonna come back and say, hey, the water is testing, the level's not high. That's all you're gonna get. That's all you're gonna get. To me, it's just another way they finna collect some money. Whoever gonna be, they gonna probably, I'll charge high as hell to tell the truth, though. You're gonna get something like, hey, you give me $1 million or $2 million, we'll come and say the water good. This finna be now, allegedly, let me just say that, we finna see whoever gonna get paid, they're gonna come back with something that's gonna go with the administration. Hey, Philip, I'm telling you, I feel you, but it's just,
that's how the game is played, man. But that's what I don't know, man. I don't got much to hang on, especially in my part of the town. I ain't got much to hang my hat on my part of town, but I just like try to figure out how can I, without going this high level and have to protest and, having to get people rallied up and things like that, which I don't mind doing. I teach people how to do it. I'm just saying, from an exhausting point, you just figuring out how can you just live this little raggedy one life that you got without having to really be impacted by all the evils that are happening in this world.
I'm finna see. Let me see. Killer said, Google Rod Hayes, this federal government is shut down. They are in reset. He said, I'd rather talk about McDonald's hamburger. No, I'm just talking about the stuff, the poison that they feeding the people. Good person.
Rod Hayes is shut down and are in a reset. You rather. Okay. Well, Rod Hayes.
Yeah. Can y'all Google Rod Hayes, family? We're going to see. Let me see Philip Johnson. Lakes, rivers, and rain are naturally high in alkaline, so treating them is just common sense. And then look at the buildings here. When they talking about, man, you know how old the buildings here? Probably every building in Flint probably got asbestos, mold, and everything. Like I told the people, when I was down at the Oak Business Center, they might probably done cleaned it up now because I've been talking about their asses down there. When they had the ENA board up in there, all the flies that was up in there, when I tell you how unsanitary that was, like, come on. Had the ombudsman office down there with mouse traps and all of this, like, I get it, but it's like, you talk about mold, come on now. The infrastructure in Flint is just terrible. every building should be. It should be new buildings, but you know, we just Flint is Flint. They'll fix it up eventually. But when you go look at the posters and stuff, now they building stuff here, Yogi. I just think when the people do wake up and realize they gonna be moving out because they finna be taxed out, that you know.
Yeah, I just want to first and foremost, you gotta talk to us gently around here. Our fellow friend Killer Cops, you know, we don't ignore people, but we also are on a short time limit, and we got maybe a short attention span. So if you want to get our attention, it happens to be $5 Friday. I'm not judging you. I'm not making you. I'm just saying sometimes you got to highlight what an incentive for us to shift the conversation. Now, when we were talking about McDonald's and all those things, just to be fair, we weren't talking about McDonald's as a corporation. We were talking about how we being poisoned because that's what's accessible to our communities at most, for people to get some kind of substance, even though we know it's killing us. But when we talk about this Rod Wave thing, I'm personally having trouble. Rod Hayes, my apology. I said Rod Wave. I'm on a different kind of.
What's the name just pulled him up? Phyllis Johnson.
Okay,
Said,
all right. Thank you, because I'm having some trouble.
He said, "Isn't Hayes the African spirituality man? It's been a minute, but I remember him."
Perhaps we're gonna have to take some time to go and make sure that we inform ourselves about it, since our chat is so adamant about us learning more about what the brother has to say. And so I just want to put your mind at ease on this Good Friday, that you have been seen and you have been heard. And we definitely appreciate you putting us on so that we can expound our conversation on this good chat. Thank you so much.
Right, because I'm watching two chats. I'm watching one on the phone and trying to interact, and I'm watching over here. So I'm working two of them. That's why.
Have you read Filthy Toxic's comment? Because I was trying to do my due diligence.
How many buildings I make is where like Walmart or something. There's always those empty sections in the structure of the buildings. I might be tripping though, too. What's the deal with Trump and Mandani? I don't know. I just think.
Well, in my part of town, the conversation looks a little something like this, right? Like people are wondering why people had so much grace for Mamdani than they didn't have for our mayor here when she was dealing with Trump, right? Because now I think there was a senator or a congressman that had some comments about how they felt in California. That had some comments about how they felt about how our mayor was dealing with having conversations or negotiations with Trump. And I think that, one, he's a man. And he's a man of a certain culture, right? That still has presence and power in our American system. We're not going to pretend that that's not existent. And so I think that, you know, it worked out in his favor, because what I saw, and I might have been tripping because I was half asleep when I seen it, when they asked him straight out, do you believe that Trump is a fascist? And he said, yes. And did you see how Trump just, it's okay. I know you got to say, like he played it off, which made me feel a little uneasy, not to take away from Mamdani, because like Trump has said some really like egregious things, like in moments of spaces where he felt like that person was playing with his time and his mind. He said it from the hip. And in that moment, for him to just casually laugh it off and like, I know you're just saying it for the... Anybody else see that moment he was talking about? Yeah, like if I got to get any perspective that made a red flag fly up for me about how serious this campaign for Mamdani is in New York, seeing him with Trump made me feel like that we might be getting played again. And I say we because I'm hopeful for the change that will come in New York because of what he put on his platform, that it will start like kind of pivoting over into other spaces. But when I see that they was kind of yucking it up like two friends who just had a little small disagreement, it made my little skin crawl. I don't know. Otis, what you think?
Look, to be personally with you, I didn't pay no attention. It's just like here, man, you know, Mamdani and Trump, man, he probably had a little more respect, like you say, because of man, and then he might have for a woman. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, you know, and then Trump probably looking at Mamdani is the mayor of New York. Did he want him to be using the court system against him? You never know. You know what I'm saying? Trump, no, he only got 3 more years to be the president before he end up coming out. So he don't know, but they not gonna do nothing to him. Listen, he gonna give his. Oh yeah, co-sider. Yeah, nah, yeah. I mean, listen, you knew they was going. Listen, it is what it is, because he said unemployment is 4.4%, and likely higher than that. Why did the Trump administration hide the October jobs report? Yeah, I seen the V from Vendetta. Trump just is. I mean, listen, they doing what they doing. The Republicans got it. They in charge right now, so they can do what they want to do. So, yeah, okay, sorry.
Yeah, I'm still in shock that we in year 1, Shardy Shard. I ain't even gonna hold you. Like, I'm not trying to bring my rain cloud out here in the public space, but I'm just trying to tell you, I'm just thankful for a day, a second, a minute around here in these streets. The way things been popping off, I can't call it. People still talking about 2026 election. I'm like, are we gonna make it to 2026? Are you seeing what's happening out here? We got not only do we have a civil war that's brewing, we got a religious war that's brewing. He got people over in Venezuela and other parts of the countries trying to tick them off. I think that when we count down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 with that ball for 2026, that might be it. No, you better hold on to your pantyloos and your loved ones, boy, because I think we up out of here.
It was crazy. Hey, Trump ain't playing though, but the system gonna tell him after 3 years. But you got some who like, nah, keep him in. But I don't know, them Epstein files. You got his own people. Like, well, stuff happens. So what? He was over there. They don't.
See, Philip said, I heard he bombed Somalia. I don't know about that, man. It's been a lot that's been happening on the international side. And the last time I came outside of my little local and national box, boy, I promise you, I almost lost about 10,000 heads on one side. And next time y'all see me, I might be bold because I can't keep up.
This at one time, this was black. I came over here with this game and I thought I was just gonna be recording, not saying nothing, sitting in the back laughing, like, yeah, and messed around, and they took me out. And that's why I'm trying to back paddle and find how to get out. But we became the most hated. So right now, it is what it is. And I might have to open up shop in another city or something. I can probably.
It won't be DC. I can tell you that because I'm looking. You'll be coming into DC and I'll be leaving out. We'll be passing each other. Say.
I already see. Because I don't care who the next person they bring in. They ain't lighting up. They tighten up. You got to deal with all these people that will sell you out in the drop of a dime. I've been on here trying to tell them, y'all pay me, and you know what I'm saying? It's all good. You know what they tell me? No. Every month. So we're going to try it again in 2026, family. I'm going to try to get the bag for us. I'm telling you. They offer $10 million. I'm going to give y'all what I can get, and I'm out. Y'all can have this thing.
Let's see. Now I run on the international level, but what some folks might not connect is how the big reflects the small. That and local have a direct impact on each other. Facts. That's fact. That's why I say here in DC, because we have to rely on everybody to make things move here. We have to learn how to actually put on our goggles and zoom in and zoom out. What happens internationally impacts us, what happens nationally impacts us, and what happens locally definitely impacts us. So all of it is interconnected, and you cannot be hyper vigilant about one without worrying about the impact that's going to trickle down to the other. But if I may, let me say at 11:02, it has been a pleasure to catch up with you good people on this Black Friday. And we mean Black Friday as you see in my face and Otis's face. To your left, maybe my right. I don't know how it goes. But it's $5 Friday, people. And just because we not on the screen don't mean that Otis and the team don't need your support. If you want to spend that dollar today, make sure you put it in a melanated space. At least that's my preference. And you can do Cash App or you can do a super sticker. Because guess what? Otis bringing you a triple time today. He bringing you a members only show at 1 p.m. with Brother Elliot. You know we be locked and loaded for class, so you want to make sure you check it out. If you're not a member already, you might want to go ahead and get that down now. And then for those who are looking for the word from the curb, a 99% factual from Winters herself, you can catch the nightly nip at 6 p.m. or 6-ish, maybe 7, maybe 8. Just make sure you in your place.
Better be at 7. I got stuff to do.
Right. But and in between, you got time on Saturday to change your mind and make sure that you ready and prep with Sunday, because Otis will be back at it again for you on Sunday morning, 9 a.m. Class starts again with Brother Otis, and then you'll catch me in Honor for Just a Thought later on down the line at 7 p.m. That's if Honor ain't out here saving a unicorn or a panther. We never know. She out here in these streets for real, but we're going to try and make it do what it do. But, I thought I'd say from my face and my space to the 202 to the 810 chat, it's always a pleasure. We ain't out here trying to give you the answers, but we definitely trying to pop up some questions so you can be better people. And I don't know, Otis, I kind of took over your job for this Friday, but you got something to say to the people before we give them a peace?
Peace.
Word. Peace, people.
For sure. We out. Thanks, Yogi.